Grace and peace, Grand Avenue Baptist Church. I hope this pastoral update finds you doing well. I want to update you on a couple of things that are going on at Grand Avenue Baptist Church this month. First, there will be a Zoom informational members meeting on May 17th. The purpose of this meeting is to introduce you to and have take questions about the budget. Life goes on, does it not? We still have work to do, and we were hoping to have this informational meeting face-to-face, but as it has worked out, we have not. We still need to get this budget approved. We've got it ready to go. That will be coming out in email soon. We don't have to vote on anything. We're just going to take questions on that, try to clarify any questions you may have about it. And also introduce to you the deacon candidates that are coming up. So then on June 28th, Lord willing, we will have a face-to-face members meeting to approve this budget and affirm these deacons. So that's one thing I wanted to update you on. The second thing I want to update you on, and I know you've probably all been wondering, is the date June 7th going to hold for us to resume our worship services. So if you remember, I talked to you the last pastoral update that what we were looking at is that June 7th date. And if things got worse, we may have to move that back. If things get better, perhaps we can move that up, have some sort of creative service, perhaps meet outside, and where we can social distance better, have some sunlight and air and those kind of things. It looks like things are beginning to open up more. Good news is Governor Reynolds has lifted restrictions on the 22 counties that were under restrictions, and Governor Reynolds has permitted more and more businesses to begin opening. These are good signs, and they help give us information about how to proceed. Don't you just love how things change from week to week and day to day? I remember last week when I recorded the pastoral update on Thursday or Friday, I can't even remember what it was now, but things had changed since Sunday, and I thought, oh my. And so it is Friday morning now as I record this. And one of the things we're having to do is just kind of live like missionaries, right? And I remember when I would go on mission trips and they would tell us one of the things about doing work here, mission work here, is be flexible. Be flexible, be flexible. We're learning to be flexible. And so things change. And so we want to do our best to respond to them and to move forward. In light of things moving in a good direction, the aim right now is to hold an outdoor worship service perhaps on May 24th or May 31st or both. I'll be honest, I'm praying for the May 24th date. I pray that works out, so keep watching and praying as we think about that and work toward that. So here's what's going to happen. The elders are going to give you a call in the next week and a half, and I want to see how you're doing, have prayer with you over the phone. Also, they're going to ask you if you would prefer to attend an outdoor service on May 24th or May 31st, or perhaps both. I know some of you would prefer the May 24th day. Others would prefer May 31st. Some would prefer June 7th. And others would prefer Labor Day. Just kidding. Whichever day you prefer, that's fine. The goal is to move back toward having worship services, to resume having them. That's resume, R-E-S-U-M-E, not resume as in having another video meeting. So here's what the elders want to ask you to do. We want to ask you to pray. We want to ask you to pray for our nation, pray for our state, pray for our city. And pray for every person that's a member of Grand Avenue. Pray for them. I want to ask you to pray that the Lord would give the elders wisdom as we move forward, and that we would be unified, not only unified as an elder board, but unified as a church as we build teams to put things back in place, and so that as we are no longer having to shelter in place and we have the ability to move about again, we want to begin to easing back into having our worship gatherings. So pray that our church will be unified as we move forward. Unity is a big concern for many churches during these days. And so, and it's a concern for us. How should we think about the unity of our church as we resume our worship services? That's a question we need to answer. And so one of the things, or here's how we need to just think about that. Let me say it this way. The strong should not judge the weak, as we approach this. The weak should not hold in contempt the strong. So the weak, does it feel like, I'm ready to come back? I'm a little fearful. That's fine. Those that are should not judge them. Those that are strong and say, I'm ready to move forward and let's get going. The weak should not hold them in contempt or feel less than them because they want to hold off and wait for a while. We need to move forward in love and unity. We need to let our love be genuine and rally around one another and rally around the gospel. So ask the Lord to show you how to apply the gospel during these days. Anxiety and fear will test our faith in Jesus. But remember, our battle is not with flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness in this dark world in the heavenly realms. As Christians in our local church, we are on the same team. We are in the same family. We're not enemies of one another. So let's do not treat each other as if we are enemies or we are on a different team. Brothers and sisters, there's just no silver bullet about how to do this. None of us has the market cornered on wisdom and knowledge and insight about how to proceed. I don't know of a pastor who has done this before or anything remotely like it. I'm talking with pastors that are struggling through this, and we're all wrestling with the same questions. Well, one of the things I am reminded of, only God is sovereign in this, and it is Him that we are leaning into and humbly seeking together. So let me give you a word of caution as we move forward. Do not compare our church to other churches. Some churches may move faster than us. Good for them. Some churches may move slower than us. Does not mean that we are right and they are wrong, we are better and they are weak, or they are foolish and we're wise. It simply means the Lord is leading that body differently. Bottom line, we do not need to play the comparison game when it comes to moving forward. We don't need to judge other churches. We don't need to really judge ourselves. We just need to listen to the Lord and move forward as cautiously as we can. Certainly Pastor Eric and I and our elders are talking with the pastors of the churches. We're gleaning as much information as we can, and so that we can apply that to our unique situation here at Grand Avenue. And here's another word of exhortation. So let's just say the May 24th date works out to hold an outdoor worship service. Attending that service is a decision or a question that you and your family will have to answer. Will we attend? And if you choose to attend, then that's good. If you choose to wait for a while longer, perhaps May 31st or June 7th, that's good. There's no shame or judgment either way. And we do not want to put that on someone. Finally, you may be asking, how will the service be conducted? And that's a good question. We're currently working on that, trying to figure that out. We want to do all we can to make our worship gatherings safe and reduce the risk of infection. However, there is no way we can eliminate all risk. Risk is just something we take every day when we walk out the front doors of our houses. Risk is something we take when we place our faith in Jesus. And when we declare that we're going to follow Him by taking up our cross daily and following Him, that's something we do. We're placing our faith in Christ as we take up our cross. I told you early on in a blog as we moved into this season that it's important to have faith and not fear. But it's just as important as to have faith and not foolishness. So while there is risk in anything we do, we recognize that risk. And as we move into our worship services, we also want to be wise and not foolish. And we want to resume our services with safety and care and caution. So in the coming days, we'll begin to roll out our instructions about how the service will work, where to park, where to sit, etc. Again, we can reduce risk, but we cannot eliminate all risk. And so the details about how to social distance at a service, be protective of one another, wearing a mask, where to park, all will the restrooms be available, so on and so forth. We will do our best to answer all of those questions. Just look for emails. We'll post it on the website. And we will be consulting some of you to help us answer those questions because we don't have all wisdom. We'll have to lean into the wisdom of the church to help us put things together. Let me close by reading Psalm 121. Perhaps this will encourage you and remind us where we look to, who we look to when we have a season like this. Psalm 121. I lift my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Have a blessed day, Great Avenue Baptist Church.